According to a recent reputable survey, 98 out of 100 men voted the Rolex Explorer as the most boring watch ever created. This was conducted by the Worldwide Association of Inebriated Pirates, and it would have been 100% if it weren't for those two numbskulls who got stuck in the rum barrel just before the survey ended. But this goes to show that most of the time we cannot rely on Rolex to give us what we want. So sometimes we need to go through unsavory means to spice up one of the most legendary watches in the world, the Explorer. And that's exactly what Baltany did. Let's explore. Let's explore. Oh my gosh. This video is brought to you by Baltany. As a company that specializes on heritage and iconic models, it's just logical that they would have in their collection an Explorer homage, being one of the most iconic watch designs in history. We've seen countless homages before, and at first glance, this seems to be another one of those who would be lost amongst the multitudes of derivative watches. Baltany does, however, executed the S4035 enough that it would stand out relatively well. The fit and wear is decent, considering many of you are already halfway typing your comment about my wrist being too small for the watch, or the watch being too big for my wrist, or some sort of witty combination of the two. But it's the colors that's the star of this video review. This watch does a spectacular job on brown leather straps and dresses it down beautifully while keeping the premium feel. I recommend upscaling it with this nice blue Artem sailcloth strap because our Aussie friends are great at making them, and we get paid with gold bars and bags of coconuts for every video that we shoehorn their product in. I mean, just look at this gorgeous combination. Although this brown dial and blue collar combo is not exactly harmonious, the build quality of the buckle and strap just adds a lot to the impression. Strip it down to its spring bars and you'll notice that even the bars used here are rigid and thick. I'm amazed at this offering despite the price that it's listed for. This is useful when you want to use other NATO straps, even this $5 bargain from Amazon. You'll definitely have the confidence to wear it. As someone who's been involved in developing products and watches, this is one of the areas where budget cuts are often taken. I'm glad that even at this area, Baltany is not compromising its production. I, however, compromise significantly with the quality of this stiff strap. But you get the idea. Just don't ask me how this strap feels on my skin. But really, you'd be perfectly fine by sticking with the steel bracelet that it shipped with in the box. Operation is also very simple. Unscrew the crown and a single pull is all it takes to set the time. No ghost date on this Salita caliber, and it's a more premium wine compared to your typical Japanese movements. No bezel turning, no fiddling with the crown to guess if you hit the first or second step. Just like the watch that it's modeled after, the Explorer delivers in the grab-and-go department. I don't have a Rolex Explorer to compare this with, so I did what any self-professing pirate would do short of robbing an AD. Here we could see the hallmarks of the Explorer, from the Mercedes hands to the numerals on the quarter markers. All of these are applied like the Explorer, though I'm pretty sure these are not made from white gold. The difference comes in the proportions. The 40mm Explorer's numerals have a slightly bigger dimension that balances well with the smaller dial real estate. The Baltany Explorer, however, has a smaller footprint, making way for a more spacious dial that works to highlight the surface treatment. The crown on the Baltany is a lot more rudimentary and toolish, while the Rolex original has some elegance done to it with its curved signature. The lug also has a different angle, making the original a lot more compact looking. This shows how a few degrees of an angle can make a big difference. The middle link on the Explorers is brushed as much as every link that it has. The Baltany homage separates itself by polishing these parts. There's still a few differences between the two, but it's clear that this Apple is trying very hard to look like it fell from the same Rolex tree. Like with most of the brand's offerings, the caseback is left blank. In this case, it works well, as the original Explorers don't have markings on them either. Looking more closely on the Baltany Explorer, it has most of the characteristic finishes taken from the original Rolex watch. From the brushed top surface down to the mirror polish on the sides, it's all there for you to enjoy at a fraction of the price. It's hard to credit Baltany on many of these parts, such as the bracelet design, because it's really mostly lifted completely from the original Explorer. The clasp is not as refined and intricate though. The same can be said with the bland caseback, but happily the dial gets a lot more love on this model. It's a good chocolate brown color that performs really well when showered with light. The recessed indexes create stroked out objects over the dial as it shines brightly. It gives life to a design. It eludes the monotony of the popular concept of a tool watch, and I can even see this trying to capture the hearts of vintage fans as well. If you wanted a Rolex Explorer to look like this, it would need to have its patina through the decades and have the right conditions to get the tropical brown dial. Here you get it out of the travel case. Yes, it's got that patina going on, but the dial is not trying to look ancient. And the beauty of new tech is that we can enjoy the glorious look. This is where it becomes personal now. I understand the purity of naturally aging a watch into a unique specimen of beauty, but making a boring watch in my books into a watch that I'd be more than happy to be caught wearing under the sun is worth making the dial into this lovely color paired with creamy, quote-unquote, unnaturally toned indexes. Ultimately, companies like Baltany has more room to explore than the likes of Rolex. Explorations we'd love to wear. And that is the Baltany Explorer 4035. It may be one of the most uninspiring names that you could ever think of when it comes to a homage watch, but it really does give a spicy new look to the Explorer, and quite frankly, at $400 or sub $400, this is a terrific value, not just because of that Solita movement inside, but also the fine finishing of this metal case and bracelet. I'm really surprised and stunned like a drunk pirate when I saw this in the metal. I don't know about the black version, but I think I made the right choice by going with the enamel brown model that looks very subtle and yet at the same time very flavorful, if I may add. It kind of looks like a rum on a well-aged mahogany barrel. And that's the Baltany Explorer. Comment down below and let me know what you think. Are you one of those inebriated pirates that's going to pull the trigger on this one? And quite frankly, I would agree if you do. This is a survey conducted by the National... Bro! Nagre-record ako. And that's why Baltany is here to spike things up. Spice things up. Man, that was like offering. Blah. I don't even know what this model is. What is this? You see, it doesn't even show the model. Shut up. Ilalagay ko yung video mo doon sa outtake.